Hi there, I'm Cortney, your friendly neighborhood collections technician for human history at the Manitoba Museum, and today I'm going to talk to you about my favorite objects in our archaeology collection. I'm standing here with a frock coat that, along with a sack coat, was excavated from a dig at the Forks in the 1990s. Both coats were found together in this compact ball packed with sawdust, manure, and ice. After it was excavated, it was brought here to the Manitoba Museum in a plastic bag and kept in the freezer until conservation work could begin. In order to defrost the ball, our conservators ran pulsating water over top of the garments, and it was at that point that we discovered there were actually two coats instead of just one garment. As they pulled the coats apart, they saw that they were in varying degrees of degradation, and we continued to do conservation work from there. Fabric's really interesting when it comes to archaeology because it's not something that tends to last forever, especially when underground. These coats date to the 1880s or 1890s. Both coats also show evidence of having the buttons removed. So we had threads that were clearly cut, as buttons were something that could be salvaged for other garments. After these coats were discarded, probably other things were thrown on top of them, other garbage and debris. So we don't know exactly how they ended up together. So the frock coat in particular was an interesting conservation feat because due to a variety of degradation on the coat, it was actually taken apart entirely into about 20 pieces. From there, the pieces were cleaned. Any damage was infilled with a polyester felt to give it stability. We found that that fabric was also the right weight in order to complement the existing weft of this fabric. The coat was then sewn back together, and mannequins were created to perfectly fit the coat so that it can be both displayed and also stored properly. Although the sack coat did show a lot of degradation on the cuffs and the sleeves, probably again due to manual labor, the coat itself was in pretty good condition, and so it was conserved as one entire garment, so it was not taken apart and reassembled the way the frock coat was. The conservation and reconstruction of these coats took place in the year 2000 and 2001, and due to a very dedicated volunteer giving her time, it took roughly 135 hours to do this work. We're so grateful that this is something we're able to have here at the museum. It's a really cool example of menswear from the late 19th century, and definitely a neat archaeological find, and one of my favorite things to pull out when people ask me about my favorite objects at the museum. For a limited time, you can actually check out one of these coats from our archaeology collection in our Museum Collections Illuminated exhibit here at the Manitoba Museum. So I'm standing right here in front of the sack coat that, as I said before, was conserved as one entire piece. Lots of infill happened along the lapel in the front of this particular coat, but this coat here would have been worn by someone working in the warehouse where this coat and the frock coat were eventually excavated. Thanks for joining me today as I talk to you all about these coats in archaeology. Have a great day.